is to protect us. There is an energy grid out there right now that prevents people to come into our reality. And you see that with ships phasing in and out in UFO videos. But that's a misconception, because it's bending light in reality. But it's the same principle, and that is what actually happens too. And so information is transported or bypasses into a dual dimension by the gap found in time, which is mistaken for a gap in reality. Meanwhile, we puzzle at the confusion of why we're wired primitively and cannot quantify or interpret spirituality, another God gene in our brain that's been inhibited or deactivated, waiting to be activated, when in fact parts of our brain are inactive or dormant. Q12, mental health, the drug industry, and the new psychology. Q13, biochemical enlightenment and how the body, Q13A, biochemical enlightenment and how the body is a temple. It might say Gong Fu too. Oh, sorry. Q13A, biochemical enlightenment and how the body is a temple, and Kung Fu. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken once again. It's Q13C. Gong Fu and physical enlightenment, which is spelled with the G-O-N-G, not Kung Fu. G-O-N-G-F-U, which is Gong Fu. Okay, so it's Q13A, biochemical enlightenment, and how the body is a temple. Wired behavior accounts. So just to make sure, Q13A it's physical. It's all about chemistry and physiological enlightenment. Q13C is Gong Fu and physical enlightenment, which one is about one of the four destinies. The other one is about the chemistry of it and of what makes it physical, because there are components within us that does that. And wired behavior accounts for all the problems in the world today. It explains why we will always want more and do stupid things for them, and why some would even kill for them, as truly it is our nature to do so. I believe I will provide proof of why we have turned off consciousness and wait for 2012 for evolution to reconnect to God. But once again, we can speed this up. As soon as possible, starting today. Q21, the need to evolve religion, and you don't have to rush. As long as you're aware, it activates the spiritual partition within your brain that prepares you. So, and it's an explanation of why there's so much reasons to why things are happening that have been neurologically activated. So playing certain movies will activate certain genes in your brain, and I'll explain more. It's a very, very calculating process that is sophisticated and complex. So just by reading this intro alone doesn't do it any justice. I really recommend this next topic, which is the need to evolve religion. This is for this is for the scientific New Age people that are consider themselves atheists, and people that are stuck, that need more sense and logic. And this is Q21, the need to evolve religion. and the Fruits of Science and 2012. A biological and genetic reason why we behave the way we do. Probably one of the most important topics in this interview. Q31, the reasons for the system, a spiritual account, and more on the Great War, our war. Q30, the system, a biological reason for programmed behavior. Q20, the brain, programmed behavior, and the promise of the frontal lobe. Q18, severing the left and right brain severs the communication to the spiritual world. You ever wonder why everyone forces you to use your right hand? It's not a coincidence. This has been planned for thousands of years. Q19, the last golden age is responsible for human doubling of cranial size and junk DNA. Activates the 2 missing chromosomes that are etheric. Actually, this is a very important interview, as it tells us why God had genetically engineered us on purpose, as it says that they made us in His likeness, when in other religions it specifically says, word for word, that we were genetically modified or hybridized. On purpose. So they did this. They engineered us on purpose, or modified us, specific genes in our cells, in our bodies, to fast track our preparation for the coming changes for late 2011 and for the 2012 paradox. I mean, you can't ever wonder how it's possible that it took 1,000,000 years from a very, very advanced Australopithecus. Almost we're 1,000,000 years now, so let's just say 1,000,000. And then for the last 36,000 years, all of a sudden, from just prior to hominids, we double cranial size. From prior to hominids to Homo sapiens. So within 200,000 years, we just double our cranial size, when it took us a lot longer to get rid of our monkey, the dominance of the monkey gene. So that's just one major strain. It's a foundation branch, or a branch off from another gene, expression of a dominant gene. So that took 800,000 years. And then what about before Australopithecus? How is it possible that our brain doubles size? It's anthropologists and historians, they probably just given up on this subject because it meets so much, not controversy, but it just doesn't make any sense how people can't see that, so they don't even bother. So, but they don't have all the answers, and that's another thing, they don't have the ciphers. So 32, why our brains turned off the pineal gland. Pineal gland, therefore shut off the third eye. The secret is that King Arthur's body was buried in Avalon, or his body residual energy, so his body residual energy would bless the spirit world and bring peace to the higher dimensions. It may sound unearthly, excuse me, but his body acted as nutrients for the tree of life, and it gave the earth reasons to accept all the craziness that's going on, as the earth, the spiritual world, it was basically a bribe and just like Jesus was a bribe. And there's more avatars, many more avatars, and many saints that are Muslim, that are from other religions, that paid blood money to make sure that we advance spiritually. Q26, we need negative emotions to live, negative lifestyles, and criminals are special too. Sleep is a very valuable thing in our lives. Without rest, memory and muscles rebuilding and their rebuilding is not possible. But what we need to know about sleep and how it relates to memory and learning, and why we cannot see spirituality prevents us from learning. What we truly see and what we truly see. But because we're not taught how to see, we get depressed and angry for secrets and what separates us from heaven and hell. So because we're sleeping, our memories need to consolidate. And part of that consolidation is seeing spiritual things. Energy, to be more exact. We can see energy just like how the birds can see the atmosphere as they're using something that's invisible. Well, something allows their brain to pick up that frequency. As much as sharks can see electricity, as much as vipers can see thermal imaging, that counts as seeing in reality. And what that means, basically, is that if we can feel that it's ice cream and taste that it's ice cream, we could even tell you what flavor it is. So why is that not seeing? Why is that not reality? Why is it not sensory interpretation? Sensory deduction to what the truth is. And because of that, we ignore our sixth sense when we use it every day to see, to feel, and out people, and we know without that they're lying. How can you do that? You see their intentions, you see their emotions. It's the same thing. But for us, we see this in energy, but because there's an actual shield on our pineal gland, our third eye, we can't see it. It's been deactivated. Well, the spiritual partition in our brain, the eighth intelligence, has been deactivated. And it's because there's a shield. Once one or either, well, the partition opens first and then the pineal gland comes after. Because if you were to see actual energy, some people go insane. And so we see energy and we can't consolidate it. And because we can't consolidate it, sometimes we're left restless, and you can't go to the spiritual world until the spirit actually resolves the person's karma for the day. Then they could leave. And so, I mean, you sit there and you're lying in bed, you're wondering why. Well, meanwhile, your brain's cycling and your spirit's cycling through all of these memories. But there's 2 steps here that I'm jumping, and I don't want to continue on this. It's supposed to be a short summary of every subject. So please, you have to really understand if what I'm making sense right now can explain sleep paralysis and night terrors, then please continue to read these subjects. So Q16 is how to fall asleep and sleep strategies. This is just, it touches on certain topics, but it's mostly on sleep strategies because sleep is very important for the physical body and for mental well-being and for your biochemistry, as it creates biorhythmic havoc and alters biorhythm. And Q17, fear response, insomnia, night terrors, sleep paralysis, and possession by spirits waking me up.